Let me speak with Vanessa, please. What do you mean she's not in yet? And Maureen's off at a breakfast meeting. This is just dandy. I may as well be running this place single-handedly.
Oh, good morning. Glad to see you back at the helm.
Somebody better be.
Oh, I hesitate to bring this up, but don't you think you ought to have this will attended to right away?
What for?
Well, you have Nick McHenry listed as your primary heir. Now that the DNA tests show that he isn't your son, don't you think you should alter that?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Mr. Shepard. You'll be hearing from me real soon.
Did I mishear you?
No, you heard me. Nick remains in my will as primary heir to the Spaulding empire.
Well, there's no arguing with scientific evidence, and it's proven that he is not your son.
Just back off, Henry. You're crowding me. I don't wish to discuss this any further.
Alex, we have not discussed it. You haven't listened to a word I've been saying.
No, I heard you.
Well, why do you insist on tormenting and torturing yourself with this young man?
The only person tormenting me is you, with this incessant yammering. I'm losing my patience.
Alex, is something going on here? Is this one of your business schemes?
It's entirely personal, by which I mean private.
Oh, well. Then we're in deep trouble. Now, Alex, if you want to delude yourself over this young man, that's your prerogative. But if you insist on foisting it on the rest of us, well, that's something else entirely.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about the fact that if you insist on putting this young man with no business experience whatsoever in charge of Spaulding, well, that constitutes corporate malfeasance.
You'd better not throw that term around loosely, Henry.
Alexandra, I do not. But you'd better get used to it, because that's what you'll be accused of once the board of directors finds that you're putting this young man who is a total amateur in charge of the future of Spaulding. Now, what makes you think that he's capable of taking charge of it?
Nick has many fine qualities, but I don't have to defend my decision to you or anyone else. That's the delightful thing about being the majority shareholder.
Spoken like a true Spaulding.
So the fact that Jack Kiley has a woman as an attorney will dilute the jury's perception of you as a victim.
You mean that she's a woman doesn't believe me? Why should the jury?
Exactly, yeah.
Alexandra, this is a travesty. And the stockholders are going to agree with me. Spaulding can scarcely afford to put up with this kind of, yes, lunacy.
I will run this company as I see fit.
Oh, thanks. This shouldn't take too long.
All right. Now that we're alone, let me ask you why you're so incensed at my father.
Because he ruined my father's career, and he didn't mind stooping to bribery in order to do it.
Where did this come from?
Does it matter? I didn't think that corporate security was an issue here. That is Brandon Spaulding's signature, is it not?
Yes, it is. So?
So you're not even going to deny this?
Why do you persist in misjudging me, Nick? I'm neither...
So, this along with the statement from the editor who was bribed will clear my father's name. And it will also show that Spaulding Enterprise displayed a flagrant abuse of power in its cover-up.
I'm very sorry to hear that. I can only assure you that Spaulding does not operate that way anymore. Certainly not since I've been in charge. An evil tycoon nor a fool.
What about your father?
Oh, boy, he was a difficult man. And a hard one. His style of leadership differed sharply from mine, which is why I had nothing to do with the company while he ran it. If you have the proof to implicate Spaulding, I won't contest it. Do you plan to publicize that?
It's the only way I'm going to be able to vindicate my father's name. And I have to warn you that I've just begun my research. I plan to dig through every scrap of my father's notes. Who knows what else might come up?
Well, you're a good investigator. I'm sure you'll get to the bottom of it. I'm not afraid of the truth, Nick. I have nothing to hide. In fact, I'll give you access to everything Spaulding's internal investigation turns up.
Well, you may be looking for trouble because I intend to dig up everything I can about the people who hurt my father, no matter whom that information may destroy.
This was 20 years ago, Nick. What do you want me to do?
It's too late to do anything for Kid McHenry now, isn't it?
It's not too late to do something for his son. What if I give you a seat on the Spaulding board?
Me? On the Spaulding board?
Well, it just occurred to me I would have to give it some thought.
Well, I would give it some serious thought because you'd be crazy to put me on that board. I would make your life miserable. I'd ask all kinds of embarrassing questions, exposing corporate secrets to the public on TV.
I'm sure you'd be a real pest. But I'm not convinced that's such a bad thing. It's useful to have a fresh point of view. What's more, I think you'd be surprised to see how eager the board is to ensure that Spaulding act on good faith with the public.
This isn't just another one of your ploys to turn me into a Spaulding, is it?
There are many board members who aren't Spauldings. If it would make you feel more secure, you could sit between Vanessa and Henry and pretend you're Chamberlain.
I don't think so. I'm not the corporate type.
You'd rather take pot shots at the establishment than actually try to make a difference from the inside. Is that it? It's a lot easier that way. I mean, why should you put yourself on the line when you can sit back and criticize?
You don't have the nerve to do it.
Do you have the nerve to take me up on it?